the hills of Arkansas. And this pastor he pastored the church, but he was a trapper. And he'd go out in the woods in ungodly hours. He'd get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like right after I went to bed, he would get up. And he asked me one time, he said, you want to go trapping with me? I said, that sounds cool, I'll go trapping. I said, what time do we leave? He said, about 4:30. I said, no. I wouldn't get no sleep. So he went trapping, and he come back after trapping and made breakfast and woke me up at a normal human being hour, like at 9 or something. And I got up and he was telling me about his trapping. He said, I saw the most unique thing today. He said, I set all my traps and everything, and he said, I got to a trap and I got there late. And he said, I saw the trap was sprung. And he said, but I was late. I said, what do you mean late? Did the animals have a schedule? Did the foxes and the beavers check their watch and say, it's time to be at the... Why don't you just go at 8 or 9 or 10 whenever you get up, And he said, no, you don't understand. When an animal gets caught in a trap, it'll lay there for a long time, thinking that maybe the trap will let it go. Maybe somehow they can squirm or wiggle loose. An animal caught in a trap at midnight or at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, it'll lay there for a long, long time. Just hoping and thinking, well, maybe somehow I'll get out of this. But all of a sudden, the sun starts coming up. And when the sun starts coming up, it starts understanding somehow in its animal mind that I'm getting vulnerable. I'm being revealed. See, you and I, we get caught in traps too. And we do the same thing animals do. We just sit there and lay there in our trap, just thinking somehow if I sit here long enough, I'll get out of this. And then something happens, and we, by the grace of God, the sun starts coming up, and we start feeling revealed and vulnerable. And so the animal starts to feel vulnerable, and it starts jumping and squirming and kicking and bucking, trying to get out of that trap. And he said, I come up on a trap just after the sun come up, and I saw the trap was sprung, and I realized that I had caught something. And I said, what'd you catch? And he pulled it out of his pocket, and he showed me. It was a fox's foot. I said, your trap broke that fox's foot off? He said, no. That fox got so desperate, it chewed its own leg off. As soon as he said that, my mind immediately went to the verses where it said, if your eye offend thee, pluck it out. Cast it far from thee. If your hand offend thee, cut it off. Cast it far from thee. From that moment on, I saw those verses different than any other time I'd ever seen those verses. From that moment on, I realized something. I'd always wondered, you may feel different about it, that's okay, but I always wondered, did Christ literally mean that? Did he mean for me to take my finger and gouge it up in my eye socket and dig my own eyeball out? Did he mean for me to go to the shed and get the hacksaw and literally start sawing through my own bones and veins and sin? Is that what he meant? And when I heard that fox chewed his own leg off, I thought to myself, that's not what he meant. Jesus was saying something that the modern Christian world needs to understand. He was saying, yes, salvation is free. Yes, I will be gracious. Yes, I will be merciful. Yes, I will make miracles. Yes, I will lift your burdens. I will straighten the crooked paths, and I'll bring down the mountains and bring up the valleys. But there can come a time in your life when things are so complicated, things are so difficult, things have got such a hold of you, things are so entwined, your life is so messed up and so complicated and so ruined, there will come a time that you will have to literally tear it off. You will have to literally chew it off. You will literally have to pull yourself through. It will be painful. It will be ugly. It will be disgusting. And I, Jesus, am telling you, you still have to do it.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Oh, God. Oh, God. We live in a world where everything that has anything to do with Jesus is easy. Come to Jesus, he'll give you $1 million. Come to Jesus, he'll give you a beautiful wife. Come to Jesus, he'll give you a better job. Come to Jesus, he'll make you happy. Come to Jesus. Jesus said there will be things that will be gruesome and ugly and difficult. And I want you to know I still expect him to get done. God will make as much easy on you as he can. But when he decides that it is your turn to step up and chew it off, rip yourself loose. We're so busy trying to save our reputations. I was preaching at a Bible college in Missouri not very long ago, and I give the altar call. About 200 young men come up here, about 200 young ladies come up over here, and I'm walking amongst the young men, and I'm patting them on the back, and I'm praying for them. And God spoke to my heart, and he said, somebody's making a deal with me. I had no idea what that meant. I just kept praying for people and talking, touching, and God spoke to my heart again. He said, somebody's making a deal with me. And when he said that, I got it that time. I'm slow, but I'm not that slow. The second time I got it. You see, if you're making a deal with God, you're making a deal with the devil. I mean, y'all ain't feeling me up in here. I said, when you're making a deal with God, you're making a deal with the devil. Because God don't make deals. We're all, listen, nobody is saying that you're a rank sinner and that you're rebellious and that you're just going out trying to hurt people and destroy people's lives. You can be one of those people like the young man that God was talking to me about that night, that I knelt down and figured out who he was and started praying with him, and he was saying, yes, God, I know you're right. Yes, God, I know I got to get free from that. Yes, Lord, I know I got to quit going there and quit being around. Yes, God, I know I need to straighten, and I'm going to do it, God, just as soon as I get a clean break. I feel like somebody in here prays like that. You're not so dumb to think God's wrong. You're not so foolish to think that you're going to get away with this forever. But you just don't want things to be messy. I go to church when it's convenient. I read my Bible when I can stand to. I've given the offering and I pay my tithes when I know all the bills are going to be paid. You don't think God's wrong. You just think he's going to give you enough space to work it out to where it won't be a problem.
Right. Yes.
And Jesus said there will be times it'll be so ugly, so complicated, so gruesome, so disgusting. It'll be like digging your own eye out of your own face.
Yeah.
Why did he say that? Because he wanted the world to know that he said it and that he expects it to get done.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Help us, Lord.
Has Jesus ever done anything for you?
Oh, yes.
You remember when he lifted the burden? You remember when you got the good phone calls?
Yeah.
You remember when the doctor said it was bad that he couldn't figure out why he had to say it, but he said it was good?
Yeah.
You remember God made all those easy things that should have been hard?
Yeah.
Well, the same Jesus said there will be some things you will do and you will get so messed up and twisted up in that I'm not going to help you. I need you to help yourself. I need you to chew it off.
Yes.
Tear it loose. Break it. It doesn't matter what they think about you. It doesn't matter what it costs you. It doesn't matter what you have to go through. I'm telling you it needs to be done. Help me, God. Help me, God.
Yes.
Could it be like that? Yeah, it can.
Yes.
Yeah, it can.
Yes.
There are things that become so desperate in a man's life, in a woman's life. You know, somebody would ask the question, they would say, why would Jesus want me to do something that will hurt? Why would Jesus expect me to do something that would be complicated? Well, the verses that I'm kind of quoting here in bits and pieces tell us why.
Yeah.
Because he wants you better.
Right.
Yes.
Did you catch that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you read it, brother, where he said, if your eye offend you, pluck it out because it's better.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Come on.
Yeah.
He said because it's better
Yes.
to go into eternity with one eye than to live here in sin, basically, with two eyes. He said if your hand offend you, cut it off because it would be better to go into eternity halt or maimed than to live here in sin with both hands and both. He was, listen, Jesus would never expect you to do something, whether it was hard or easy, unless it would make you better. God has a plan and we don't fully understand, but the purpose of everything God's trying to convince you to do, you're afraid to do it, you're nervous about it, you're not sure what it'll cost you, you're not sure what people will think about it. It doesn't matter if that's God dealing with your heart, it's gonna be better. Do it! I can't help myself but think
Yeah.
that somewhere right now, today, tonight, in the hills of Arkansas, there's a three-legged fox running around.
Yeah.
Getting around on three. Got that one little stump. He's holding it up here, you know, and he's barely getting around.
Yeah.
All the other foxes make fun of him. They call him old three-leg.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they tease him, they mock him, they don't let him be involved in the other things that all the four-legged foxes get to do. One morning I could see old three-leg just limping around out there in the meadow somewhere just after the sun came up. Everybody looking at him and teasing him and mocking him, and finally one of the other foxes walked up to him and says, well, guess you heard about old Zeke. No, what happened to Zeke? Trap got him. Killed him. Yeah, Bubba and Rufus, they saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
They come around the woods just as the human was pulling up on his four-wheeler. Reached down, snapped old Zeke's neck, put him in a bag, put him on the four-wheeler, drove over, he's gone. About that time I see old three-legs start getting around. One of them other foxes that been making fun of him steps out and looks at the one he was talking to. What happened to old three-leg? Oh, he'll be all right. He just remembered something. What do you remember? He remembered he's alive. I know some of you in this house have suffered today. I know you feel like you were torn loose from your friends, broke loose from your family, ripped out of your situation. But I'm here to tell somebody tonight they might be mocking you right now. They may be making fun of where you're at right now. There's going to come a day you'll realize you're better. You'll realize you're worth it. You'll be glad to have gone through what you went through for Jesus. Oh, praise God. Woo! Is that enough preaching? Who's got the offering basket? They got the offering basket. Listen to me. I want you to put a whole bunch of money in this basket. Who's this for? The church? For the preacher? For who's this? It's for everybody. Listen. Let me tell you something. This church is one of the greatest things that is happening to the Pentecostal people in America today. God is sending souls. He's saving people. He's healing people. He's helping people. He's blessing people. He's spreading things out. But God is only going to spread it so thin. Did you say God's limited? No, sir, no, ma'am. I didn't say he can only I said he's gonna only spread it so much. Every time something happens around here, we have a convention. Y'all like the convention? Praise God. Every time we have a big Sunday morning service and a big homecoming and a big revival, and you're the first one here, shaking everybody's hand, patting everybody on the back, shouting down the middle aisle when the song gets loud enough. But then they call it work day and we can't find you. Then we pass the basket to support enough lights on for when you shout with one eye open, you don't trip and fall. We're fitting to find out who the church is. You hear me? I said we're fitting to find out who the church is. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. I understand. If you want it, to be able to have it, and this is what you'll do with it if you get it, put what you got in it. For as long as you don't know what you're talking about, if you only knew. Brother, we talked about it for hours today. If you only knew how I got what I got. I'm telling you, I dare you to try to outgive God. Stand all over this house, reach in your pocket, get the biggest bill you have, put it in this basket in the name of Jesus. Mighty God in heaven, we thank you, we love you, we praise you. We worship and glorify your holy name. God, this is worship. God, this is one little way we can even begin to give back. And when we give from our finances and you bless it and you multiply it and you give us back more from directions we never thought of, you humble us even more. We don't know how to give for when you give back. God, you broke the chains of people's sin. You broke the bondage of people's addictions.